Good evening, folks, or good middle of the night, as always, 22 in the morning. Welcome back to Biblical Britain. Right, on the last video, I did point out that there was probably a message in Orion, in the stars in Orion. A few things give it away, to be fair. Bet out GEUs, that was sort of a giveaway. But obviously, and I also saw the BELT, the belt. So I thought there's something in this. And the other one was be all tricks. So, and rightly so, it is all tricks because it's a riddle. Now, what's miraculous, or this happens all the time. You get the sort of answer, and early on. You stick in, well, I do. I stick my neck out sometimes, putting it out there because the code could be a tad weak or whatever. And then lo and behold, sure as heck, something comes up and later on and confirms everything you've been saying. Well, this certainly does that. Now, the reason it's done is partly because, firstly, you have to know the subject matter. Same as the meeny tekla farsin. When I tried to decode that previously, I couldn't make head or tail of it. Obviously, once I got the map page and everything else, then it all became, I struggled with it, to be truthful at first. Looked at it, said, yeah, give me a hand out here, and instantly the word map come up. Once map came up and 10 come up, and map 10, see Melin here was not difficult to find or put together. Okay, this one is a bit of a, quite a lot of letters, obviously, but it comes up with a riddle. But again, like I say, you have to have all the other things and lots and lots of, a massive amount of code in place to be able to understand this. So I guess it's just make sure that the right person unscrabbles it, I suppose. Right. Right, what is the riddle? Right, what I'm going to do, I'll just pause you a second, guys and girls, so just bear with me. Okay, guys and girls, in front of me, as you can see, this is the riddle, word or letter for letter, that you find written in the stars that make up Orion and Orion's belt, or the named stars that make up Orion and Orion's belt. Okay, and now I'll explain this bit by bit because it's quite revealing, and it also led me to something else that I really did not expect. Okay, a quick rundown of it is, I take angel. Well, obviously my last video was all about being an archangel and how that works, but also all's in a belt. Now, Orion's belt on the ground is represented by the Giza pyramids. And when you unscrabble Giza pyramid, it says AG is your map ID. Now, it says a G is your map ID, but this says I take angel, all's in a belt. So I actually knew that, well, I can say I knew, I got the not, I just got that, if you like, trigger to go and look and see what these pyramids in the belt are actually called. I actually thought the big one was called Giza Pyramid, even though it's called the Great Pyramid of Giza because it's the biggest one. It actually has a name along with the other two that make up the belt. And this is where this gets absolutely bonkers, because I really did not expect this, but I should know to expect the unexpected because that's what keeps happening. Right. The three pyramids in the belt are Cheops, Khafre, and Menacure. Menacure. That's probably relevant as well. It's not what I've got though. Right, unbelievably. Right, firstly, this pyramid has, the big one, they've given it two names. Now, one is right, one is wrong, and the second one is quite insulting. I'll show you in a minute. But there are two names for it. One is Khufu, and the other is, which is the one they like to highlight. But the other name it's given, because there's some sort of, I don't know how this works, but there must be some sort of deal where they've got to show the truth. But what they try and do, I think, like the Iceni and the Esseni and a few other things, is they like to show the one they want you to believe first and then just leave the other one there so it's there to say that they left it there. This is my guess of what is going on. But Cheops, I know, is the correct one. Right, unbelievably, and I'm going to have to explain this separately, I think, but this says right. When you unscrabble this, it's an anagram. It says, Marco, you keep Ankh, you free H. Right, instantly I knew exactly what this meant. Now, well, at the time of doing it, well, again, this is what I mean when you get something and you know it's right and you do it, but I think it's to show you that it's not you who's thinking. This thought, the initial thought, you've been given the answer and then it proves it after that it gave you. Talking about the tetragrammaton, which, what that is, I don't know, but I'm some sort of, feels like some sort of human antenna that is connected or arced to this plan. Right. The reason this says, Marco, you keep Ankh, is because when I made my the first key to the big map that I've got, as I've shown in the other videos, which is Canaan, Egypt, and Judah, which is effectively is England, Cornwall, and Wales. That gives you the KEY, the first coordinates that make the triangle, the initial triangle on my map. Now, and this goes somewhat like this. That's better, the shape-wise. Right. So what I knew, whatever possessed me, or I say possessed me, but something guided me to use the Egyptian parts, and I have no idea why I did it, other than I just knew to do it. But what there is what the first thing I used when making what is the battle bow, which is effectively made out of all parts, all parts of this Egyptian parts. So what I did, the first thing I did was use the Ankh. And if you saw my angel map on the last video, you'll see that I highlight the Ankh quite a lot as being, as part of the thing. Then what I did, and what this is, right now, this Ankh unbelievably now goes into another pyramid on the map, a new one, which I'll show you in a minute, which connects to other drawings as well, or these coordinated drawings. Right, what I did basically, this was Port Talbot, so it's for whatever reason, I don't even know why, but I just knew it was right. It was bolt at port. Right, now with it being an Ankh and a K, it's like I knew it was an anchor key. Now an anchor and a key goes on a port. Obviously, without thinking of it at the time, but obviously it must be some sort of represent some sort of key, and this is why. I now realise this is the key to unlock the message in the eventual pyramid that I built, which I've got more code that backs that up again, which is absolutely, phenomenal. But right, what I did next then was fix the Eye of Horus. So I don't know, it comes at a funny angle, and then this little hook thing goes on to artillery, be artillery. And there, there's two lines. This line runs directly through Swindon. That's not straight there, but it directly through Swindon. And when you're following along, it hits, and this is now making a bit more sense as well. This also hits Lewisham. Now, I think that the idea behind this bow, just to give you an idea, there's also a point from St. David's Head, I think it is, that goes through Abertillery, and it also crosses at Swindon. It's a lot thinner than this, but it pincers, and I mean, it's like Lewisham, like that. And then you've got the stones in Lewisham, and it's almost like a tweezers to pick out the stones as well. And the stones are from Mount Drury. So what you effectively get is Canaan, Swindon, Egypt, Exeter. And this is confirmed now in a second. I'll show you after this. Canaan, Exeter, and then you get Judea and Holyhead. This all builds up into a pyramid, which gets with Guy and Gymru in the middle of it as well, because this is all an internal part of a bigger drawing. Like I said, this thing will be the tent. It's half the pyramid, but that will make sense in a moment. Well, when I show you the code in names, again, absolutely beyond coincidence. But what you sort of have is you put your fingers in the eye of Horus, you pull it down, I think, it loads the bow. This spring goes back and somehow loads this up. I don't know whether this is maybe the trigger or that's the trigger or something, but it fires the bow. So this being the battle bow of Zechariah, or mentioned in the book of Zechariah, which has a code in it as well, I think, but that's for another time. So what you got, so basically the Ankh opened up this YES. Then I realised this is a HES. Then you've got SEEK, Seek. I'll just read it, it's easier. But it says Seek. Then it goes Swindon is Wind's Nod. Then this says I am Welsh. Now I've realised since this is implicated saying that these pyramids are Welsh. They were built by the Giza pyramids were built by Welsh people. I'm absolutely convinced of it. And well, usually when I think it, I feel whether it's right or wrong, and I absolutely strongly feel that is correct. There's a bit more to come on that yet as well. But as you can see, it says, Marco, you keep the Ankh. So with my collection of other keys, now, well, understanding now, not because I didn't actually realise this, but I had a thought it might be a key, the way they carry it, that it locks into something and unlocks it. Well, this goes into a pyramid. Well, I haven't been able to draw it on the map that I'm going to show you, but this would go into this pyramid that I'm about to show you. But it unlocks this whole message and leads you a U3H. Well, eventually, from this map came all the messages. Then you start decoding all the bits that go with it and all the constellation, everything else, and eventually it leads you to the secret H. You know, and the Mel H code, and then find the H man, which happened. Well, this is what, like I say, I don't get it, but the H man is the Messiah. The only missing letter is the H. But I'll leave that to you to well, you know, and I don't want anybody to think I didn't put this code there. I just decode it, and anything it's well, what I believe or what I don't believe is really irrelevant, because this has been done in such a way that it tends to it's not trick me, but I don't like putting things out about me. And if I be honest, if I knew this H at the time I got it was going to fit on the end of this, I would have, well, we would have probably been behind on videos, and I would have probably been getting a rod for not putting it up there, because I probably would have avoided it. But what it did was gave me the code for the secret H, and then I discover that it goes on top. So I don't, well, it's basically committed me. I'm sure of it, knowing that I wouldn't, otherwise there'd be problems with me putting it up, because I don't like putting my name on things. But ultimately, if you think, well, unless I do put my name, one it gives, well, I know why it is to give it credibility. But if you take my name out of a lot of all these codes, then the whole thing falls apart. So it was clearly put there to hold the code together, make me have to reveal it, or I can't go further with the code. And obviously knowing that I don't, well, I just do not, you know, I'm not looking for any glory or anything. In fact, I don't even, well, I say I don't like doing the videos. I don't mind doing them, but they, you know, I'm not really cut out for it, but there we go. But it's certainly not an ego trip, that's for sure. And believe me, I'm more surprised when I get these when I see stuff like this, and this just comes up. This is all in a week, of most of it, not this bit, obviously. But all this was yesterday, last night. I just, all of a sudden, well, I thought I'd check it because something didn't seem right. Because it is, obviously, a part of it is AG is your map ID. Obviously, the G is the G in there. You see it on the you know, on the pyramids that they have on the Illuminati, and they clearly know, but they think it just stands for Gumri. It doesn't. It also stands for Mr. Guy. And I think this I am Welsh indicates that obviously Gumri, which is the middle part, when you fill in the pyramid, which comes from the egg I put in Egypt, the secret of the egg in Egypt, which again, bear with me. Again, one of the early codes I got was this. And I thought it was a bit odd at the time, but they got Guy in a pyramid. Well, this is the he's, and then what you do is you put G-U-Y and then Mr. in the middle. I think I've shown it on the other. When you add the safe zone, you then get the actual pyramid on top of it as well. But like I say, this all connects together, and there's no way it's chance. No way at all. But there we go. Okay, so the first part of Orion's Riddle, I take Angel. Obviously, is well, I go and buy the code. Allegedly, well, I can't. I don't know. And one thing I did note as well is that when I did the try, see, this is where it gets strange. And I'm not saying this, well, I'm not saying it is, but it just keeps indicating as if I was there when this plan was put together and I knew about it. And the reason I say that is, like, for example, the first of the 10 tribe decodes, you've got the first set of 2 biblical, and obviously they're decoded British tribe names, gives you this statement. It says, I, Marco, in Rus in Mon. So that is like, I'm speaking, I, Marco, in Rus in Mon. But the second part then said, he's in a map H video. I missed the word video off that code as well. I did put it in the comments, but it should say he's in a map H video. So it's obviously predicting what I'd already done as well. But it's like as if, and it's not the only one, there's other ones, and it's sort of like, it's like yeah, speaking, or me speaking, like putting a piece in, and then yeah, putting a piece in. And oh yeah, I'm going to show you something else as well. Right, okay. Let me just get rid of that. Right, now this is really where it gets weird, because in the beginning, it says something about, I don't know, he's confused it up a little bit, but it obviously mentions something about the Elohim. People question whether this is plural or singular. I don't, well, right, this is bizarre, but, right, the word Elohim, there's also a code that comes out of this that actually gives you the word Welsh, but I won't go into that. This actually says, OIMLH. Then when you take the fact that you've got another place, Lambiango Rocket, says Angel Forget, all in a H or something. Well, I don't know. This is what, you know, I'm at a loss. Obviously, I don't remember anything, but it's like as if it's trying to tell me something. And I'm wondering well, I'm only doing this because of code, not through like some fantasy of wanting to be it or whatever. Because it's just bizarre. Honestly, it's just strange and well, it's just well, I just don't understand it. But was it makes you think. Was I? And I do. I'm asking. Was I like the first angel or something that was? Because he also says we were it's something along the lines of we're creating man or whatever, and he will make him in our own image. So he's also, and this gets questioned a lot, saying, "Is there other gods?" I'm not. That's not. I'm not a god. That's Don't take that the wrong way. But there is only one creator. But it does make me wonder: was he, with seeing this and everything else, was he actually talking to me at that point in time? Because, well, it's the only logical conclusion that I can pull from all this. But either way, moving swiftly on. Right, and like I said, people, I'm not claiming. I don't even want to claim any of this. Any people who claim, honestly, I think people who claim this. I just look at them like they so want to be something. But in my case, I don't really care, to be truthful. Well, I don't even know how I got to this point. But either way, without going into a waffle, but you take my point. It's not like I'm looking for this, and I still can't get my head around it. And realistic, like I said last time, if this is the case, and if most people saw this, would probably be jumping for joy and trying to tell the world. But I still feel uncomfortable with even. Well, I couldn't even say it, even though it implies it. But I guess this might be why it's done this way, because it knows I'm not that. Well, yeah, it knows me better than I know me. I know that, and everything's pre-planned, and like he's done it because he knows that I'm not going to be the type of character that's going to want to go shaking this about and saying that. Well, I certainly wouldn't want to be bragging it, even if it is true. But there we go. And realistically, a Messiah has to have some way of saving. Well, I say saving. I don't think it's saviour. Saviour is used once in the Old Testament. I think that's been adjusted. I think that should say guide. And I think this is what the guide ropes are about. It's somebody to guide you to salvation, not like this is where Jesus falls down, because he says you have to go through him and worship him and everything else. I don't want anybody to worship me, I can assure you. I really couldn't care two monkeys. All I want is a peaceful world, a peaceful life, and if obviously, if this gets people given this, and that's the thing, I've got codes for a safe zone that clearly add up, and how it cannot be coincidence, and how I'm getting all this from nothing, really. Well, if you get everybody to a safe zone, that would, I guess, technically make you the Messiah as such. Even though really it's just a word in a code. But either way, it's not ego, that's my point. Somebody made a comment, but far from it. I don't want to, well, I don't know what I want really with it, but there we go. Anyway, right, the next one. So that explains, I take the angel all in the belt, and he gives you that code, plus it's all to do with Orion's belt. Okay, and this is all the stars in Orion that make the riddle. So the second part of the riddle is I take G Rus A Mel. And what this is, and this one comes as a bit of a surprise as well, is because I will say I'm 99.9% sure, and it's not 100. I still have a little thing in there, but it's probably because I've been working as Jerusalem so long. But I think this is actually the revelation of this actually being, well, if I take, I'll do it down here, G Rus A, and this is why this is done this way, and then you Mel backwards, you got the exact same Jerusalem, but instead of having the JE, it's got the G, Jerusalem. And I think this is the real way, the Jerusalem. I'm starting to think this is probably the code to lead you to it. This is its real name, Jerusalem. But obviously you have to go through the Jerusalem bit to work it up to get to this, to obviously be able to reveal it. Although I did spot before that G Rus A Mel, A G Rus A Mel. But that's the two names of the two forts. Well, one is Melin and one is G Rus. put the two together. I think it's a combination of the two, but they've split it, and I'm not even sure what they've done, but either way. So I take Jerusalem. Well, I be all tricks in a map. Well, it is all tricks, and everything of this has been all tricks in a map. It's an atlas is a last message. I'm obviously even broadcasting this video from a place that's called, well, Caution Marcos H and Eastleys, which is yes Atlas. You know, so there's no way it's coincidence. Everything seems is pre-done for this time and age. But there we go. So the Orion's Riddle is: I take angel, all's in a belt. I take Jerusalem, I be all tricks in a map. Messiah. The only conclusion is, well, I can come from this. You've got a G as your map ID, which is Mr. Guy. Then you've got Marco Keep, what was it, Keep Yank or whatever it is. So you've got the Marco, and you've got the Guy. This is the Mr. and the Guy, the Gumri in the one part. Marco in the pyramids. Jerusalem revealed. Not that I haven't really revealed it. You also got a place called Malmesbury, which actually says "Be my Jerusalem," and is spelt as Jerusalem as well. So that is another indicator that I think this might well be called Jerusalem. Well, it is the right Jerusalem, but I just feel this is right. Well, it is. It's got to be. That's why I've been led this way through. But obviously, you need to go through Jerusalem to get to it. But it is the same fort, obviously, so it is the correct Jerusalem. Okay, so I be all tricks in a map. Well, I could even put Corsham and Eastleys, Marco's H. Yes, Atlas. You've also got the Atlas Angel thing going on with all the other. You've got the, I don't know. And then obviously you've got this word. I don't even know what to say to it. I just like I say, I don't even know what to, well, I'll let you make your mind up. But everything logically is saying it's me, even though I can't even get, you know, it's just something crazy, but there we go. Right, okay. After that, well, absolutely stunning reveal, I think. And again, this time along, don't forget as well, you've got the Pleiades, which is Please ID as well, and that one gives the exact same type of it gives a message. Pleiad 1, something about your Atlas map ID. Be a arc elect, I am arc elect, which I can decode all that as well, and that all fits the same thing. And then obviously says get rope at, and then obviously the place name that this bow fires from, Orion's bow, then obviously hits the answer when you unscrabble that. Then it, you know, Mablethorpe is rope at Mel H. Absolutely impossible that this is all coincidence. Okay, right, bear with me 2 seconds. Hi guys and girls, right, just another thing I missed actually on the last video. If you haven't watched the last video, please watch it, because it's like I say, even this video is going to you're only going to get half the sort of clout of it. But there is something I missed, probably meant to miss it on purpose, and then because now I have to bring this back up again, which I didn't really want to do. I sort of wanted to put it, just leave it there for, and I guess hope it stays in the shadows if I'm honest. But there we go. Right, obviously, when I decoded the sickle and scythe, it actually says at the end of, I did the sickle, and the last sort of part of the sickle decode was, well, effectively it said, guess the Redeemer. If you, that doesn't make sense, just have to go back and watch the video previous, and it'll make sense. And then it says guess the Redeemer, and then it says see thy, I put click see thy, and then Redeemer. But in fact, I realised this is see thy. Oh, I spelled that wrong. That's Russian. I think that's the right spelling, whichever. But see thy, guess the Redeemer. See thy Redeemer. This is the decode of sickle and the word sickle and scythe. And that's the question: why a sickle and scythe? Well, it's coded. It says see thy Redeemer, and then then you use the word click. Because the next, right, what I didn't realise is the next place then I shot across the ocean back to Wales, obviously to reveal, well, pretty much what I just revealed with all the Pharaoh code, the Pharaoh secret code. But the place I went to was in fact Droitwich, which is again, this is very cleverly done. It says, see here, click, I drop, and then I shot. You know, this was in America. This is at the statue of the supposed Redeemer, but you get the see thy Redeemer, and then it's click. Then you cross over the water, and I automatically started doing the other one only because that's the order they came in. But I realised you can put the two together, and you get click, I drop a switch. Then Droitwich, and then that encodes to the bow, which is going to become apparent because there's a bit more to that bow than, like I say, this is why this is all heavily Egypt orientated at the moment. I do not, well, I know because there's so many secrets in Egypt, and I guess it keeps people's attention as well, I've noticed. Not that I'm calling the shots, but there we go. Right, okay. So, moving swiftly on, right, on my KEY, on my original key map with the Ankh, actually, and this is, again, this ties in again with it. Right, so you've got, right, the coordinates were Holyhead, Swindon, and Exeter. Okay, there's a story behind how I got to Swindon, but this is to do with keys written in Marco Island, Florida. The pig and the passkey, wind's nod and the swine king, basically. But anyway, taking that aside, right, this actually has its own message. Now, bear in mind, it said Moses came up out of Egypt, or Cornwall, biblical Cornwall, which is biblical Egypt. It's obviously been, I don't know whether, well, no, I believe it's been changed. I think these were the original names, was Judea, or Judah, Canaan, and Exeter. Not the actual place themselves, but obviously the area, Wales, parts of England. I don't think it must go from Swindon on, I think, but I think that could be symbolic with the two dons, because Cain goes out to the land of Nod, not. So this London and Swindon. So I've got a feeling it's a sort of band between that way. However, there's a message even in this that confirms the original map I did over a year ago, which is quite bizarre, finding it now. But obviously, again, this is just showing you that you get these codes, you put it out there, and then it just gets backed up later to let you know that, well, just showing you, I didn't think of it, somebody else did and put it there, and that's really how it works. Right, now this again, I wouldn't have been able to make sense of this at the time because I would not have had a clue what a H was. But what this actually says is Holy H, seen exit, Exeter. I don't think it's actually where they exited, but it's obviously a pinpoint for the code to show you of them coming out of the Israelites or Cyrus coming out of Egypt. And then this is where it gets absolutely crazy. Well, I've just added one wonder because it does make me wonder how it's even there. But right, there's a passage and it says, "I will show you signs and wonders." Well, bear in mind that a pyramid is a wonder. This is one of the 7 wonders of the world, but I wonder if it's the only wonder of the real one, because I think a lot of it is fake, but or later, been built a lot later than they're making out. This is I think the pyramids must have been going by this, with the old one of the oldest, built by the Welsh, whose civilization goes back before that, showing that they were they are the oldest civilization on earth. I have no doubt of that, or you wouldn't have Canaan on the map, because this is obviously where Adam and Eve, they have Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel, Cheddar Man, by the way. If you want to check him out, that's Cain. Sorry, that's Abel. Right, okay. Right, now this is where it gets incredible. It says, add wonder. Right, well, this makes complete sense, and this is how clever this is, because the 3 coordinates, which is your K, E, Y, and this is where the Ankh goes in as well, from Torba. But right, this is not the entire pyramid, believe it or not. This is only half of the pyramid. This is why it says add wonder. And then what I did, and I added the wonder, I won't go into detail, but one line goes to Ipswich, and the other line goes, well, it goes where it goes. You just take this straight effectively. But what it does, it effectively creates the wonder with the fishtail, which gives you the fire fun, and then opens up a whole lot of things that I didn't even realise I was drawing. But I don't know if that makes sense, but when it says holy H, seen exit, well, exit was Exeter, they came up out of Egypt, went round Canaan, over wherever, and come to the B Recon Beacon, which is the place they followed, or Moses followed, and the very thing that kicked all, started all this off. And, and I've been following the Recon Beacon ever since. But there you go. So that's how clever this is, because just by having the KEY, which is the Holy Head, Swindon, Exeter coordinates, when you're around it, Holy Head, seen exit, which I have, add wonder. Well, you have to complete the wonder by doing it. Obviously, I'd already done it, but again, showing you that I'm not the one that's thinking this stuff up. I don't even know why I put Egyptian stuff in there. This is the truth. I just knew it. Well, I don't even know how I knew it. I just did. But obviously, it's guiding me, and it's just putting. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it, people. It's just beyond this world. I know that. Okay, and then from there, so this key opens up the message. Then the key message, the complete message when you got it all together is he's Gymru, or Mr. Guy, seek, he's Gymru, or Mr. Guy, seek, winds nod, I am Welsh, is true. And then you've got your YH at the top, again, which is, you just phonetically put that as Y, and then you put the H there, and then when you unscramble it, you've got what the Jews know as whatever they are, the Jews. That's what you call the Tetragrammaton, which is the very thing that this holy head, my head, which is obviously connecting, and it's giving me all this information. So there we go. I shall just pause you a second. Okay, guys and girls, right, welcome back. As you can see, we're on to the maps, and I just want to show you this picture before we go any further. This is the original, what I know to be Orion's bow, because of where it is with the Clan Pharaoh secret, and then this is where G Roos the fort is. Park Seymour, Yet Marco, B Roos, and the bottom centre is actually the Carrow Hill, which seems to be the coordinate that fires the arrows off that hit like Mablethorpe on the Pleiades decode, and then this one then goes up to, bear with me if I can just move this, I'm trying to keep a steady hand. Right, what we've actually got, as you can, I'm hoping you can see, is a pyramid with something on top, which I'll explain now. Now, the point that this meets is actually Worcester, which is the rose secret, which comes down. So when I did the last video, the only points I gave you were this bow, and then when you line this up, it hits Worcester. Just above it is eyedropper switch. Click eyedropper switch, which is, there we are, Droitwich. So if you follow that line, it also hits that as well. Right. What is this? Right, well, first, right, I was asking the same question, because I couldn't work out what this is. But what I realised it represents is an Egyptian crane. Now, how do I know this? Because this, right, the first thing I did was, right, there's a code in Colburn alphabet. I'll explain it. Hold on, a little bit further down. This one here. This little place is called Colburn. There's a Colburn Bible and a Colburn alphabet. Okay, and both of those, the Colburn alphabet is actually the oldest alphabet in the world. Basically, well, it's Welsh. I've got no doubt on that. And then what's amazing about this, and this whole Egypt thing, is that you can actually read hieroglyphics using Welsh. Two guys, well, incredible what they did, and the way they were treated is absolutely abysmal. But two guys, if anyone's familiar with them, called Wilson and Blackett, and started uncovering King Arthur and all the hidden Welsh history, and they actually worked out how to read these Egyptian hieroglyphs in Welsh, which is one heck of an achievement and goes a long way to confirming this. And I hope this goes to confirm, and hopefully, because they actually were saying that the lost tribes are actually Welsh, so they were definitely on the right track, and fair play to them, and they did it all through documentation. Unfortunately, like I say, they were treated really badly because obviously they want to hide all this and they don't want anybody to know. But there's a lot more going on, right? But what I did basically was I used that because initially I had that line there, and then I thought, hang on a minute, let's see where these lines go, because that's how it normally works, right? Yeah, no, let's do this one first. I'll come back to this one and this one in a second. Right, so, oops, sorry, I'll do that again. I'll come back to this one and this one in a second. So what I did, I drew a line directly through, and I see where it hits. And well, I say it's to my astonishment, but not really a surprise anymore. It actually hits a place called, hang on, you get multiple ones because I got to double up to draw it. A place unbelievably called Guy's Head. Okay, right, so then I remembered, and now I'm looking at this picture, I'm thinking, what is it? And I think, hang on a minute, this is, I've been looking for it, well, I'd say I've been expecting to find a picture of a crane. Now, what I realised is this is actually an Egyptian crane, and there's symbology and everything behind this. How do I know it's a crane? Because this coordinate happens to be crane, well, you can see it's crane's end, which is actually, all you do is put the S on the end of the crane, and you've got crane's end. So I know this would be the end of the crane. Just tidy it up a little bit. There we go. So you've got Guy's Head at the end of the crane. Okay. Right. When you follow it, this line from Guy's Head straight through Worcester, straight through Colburn, and I thought, I wonder where it goes. And shock and surprise, ignore that a minute because I'll explain that. Shock and surprise, this, if we ever get it, goes, and funnily enough, it hits Anagai, Guyana, Anagai. This is called Suriname, surname I, raw I am, a mapper, and all these 4 D codes as well. So what we've got is an Egyptian, as you can see, it connects to everything. As you can see, we've got an Egyptian crane made from a pyramid, symbolic obviously, connecting to the constellation G Rooster crane, which in turn holds the sickle, which reveals the angel, and I think this is the angel. I don't know whether it's using the scythe to cut this and taking it off the Redeemer, basically. I think that's what it amounts to. Oh, yeah. And there's these guys all over the place here. Guy, I know what they are. Well, I know what they are, but we'll come to them again. But either way, this is the constellation of G Rooster crane. This says Guyana City, Anagai, surname I, raw I am, a mapper. This actually has, where is it? Oh, there he is. There's my name, and there's B Mel, because my Welsh name is Marco. My Welsh name would be Marco ap Mel, or Melvin, because my father's name. So if my traditional Welsh name would actually be that, which is what that's saying. This also represents Mel, the Mel of the Mel H. Then we go across, you got, I'm sorry if you've seen this before, but it's just so brilliant. It really ties it up. There's no denying. This is a place called Sao Louis, or Sao Louis, Saoluis, which is So Asilu, because I am Asilu, and that's also in the Archangel's Code. You get that as well, the original Archangel's Code I did. The fort with the Archangels, which is amazing because it all links up again. And this place is called Seal Fort. Well, they can't seal a fort better than it's named Jerusalem, which is Jerus the Crane. This is the constellation of the Crane. This is the decoded scythe that I did, and obviously this is how they all link up, and right from one to the next to the next. Okay, right, now I'm going to do some explaining because this one, by the way, if you see again linking up the angels. Man Moyle is the four-faced angel. You got the man, the four-faced angel has the face of a man, which is the M. The O is the ox, the E is the eagle, and the L is the lion. The man, and then it's all to identify the man. So when you pull those four-faced angel down, basically it gives you this place. This is the place that I actually bought my caravan from, and ended up coming, well, down this road here, past here, and living here in Cowent, and this is also recorded in Towchester, which is Tow's Secret, but that's in another code as well. Okay, so you can see how all this links up. Right, now there's an extra one I've got to show you. I'm going to go through Colburn, but this one is actually Didcot. Now this connects with a star constellation and a place over in the other triangle, or near the other triangle, which, like I say, you'll see now that this, I was wondering when this one was going to come up and force me to do it, and now it's going to be the time. But what you've got effectively is an Egyptian crane holding up the, well, I think this is it stretching the Egyptian crane. I got a feeling this Egyptian crane is to do with Jerusalem, because Jesus is Horus, and Amun-Ra is himself as well, because he's claiming he's one of his father, but he's always giving it, and he says Amen. He's giving homage to himself basically, but he's not a real character. He's a Roman creation. Believe it or not, this is the deception, and we've been deceived into thinking that God is the creator of everything when he's not. Yahweh is the creator of everything, and they've replaced the word God. God is a man word. It's the word man used to replace it. Anyway, right, I'm going to just pause you a second, but you can certainly see how this is all forming and coming together, and way beyond chance, because I can explain every single coordinate on every single map I've done. 2 seconds. Okay, just again, just back up a little bit on what we just showed you with the map. Obviously, these are the coordinates. You've got Carrow Hill, which is where you start point. Llanfydd Disgoed, which connects to Worcester. Bit off skew there. Which connects to Worcester. This gives you your Clan Pharaoh's secret. ID is code. Joint which is up here, which is I drop. Then you go click. I drop the switch. Then this one goes to. Right, hang on. This number. That's the easiest way, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this makes up the initial Orion's bow inside the pyramid, or making up, which allows you to make up the coordinates and fire off. Okay, so what are they? So Sea Arrow Hill is number 1. Park Seymour, yep, Marco Roos. This is confirmation that this is G Roos, obviously, or Roos, with my name on it. Kyle is G Roos, number 3. Number 4 is the Clan Pharaoh's secret. Number 5 is this Worcester, the Rose secret. All you do is you drop a switch, and you do drop on a switch, use it, this Welsh word, and it tells you to ID the Pharaoh's secret. The Pharaoh's secret is in the secret H, because there's also a line that comes up which says I help place a star, runs from Winchester, which is Win secret H. through Melch and Melch or Melksham. Okay, so all these coordinates clearly are meant to link up. There is no doubt. Okay. Right, now we got, right, let me just pause this a second. Sorry about the pause, guys and girls. Right, okay. So what we have, let's make that a bit clearer. I've given these coordinates, obviously these three. This is the four-faced angel. This is Mount Moel, where I bought my caravan. This is where Ezekiel's vision comes in. Then you've got Didcot. Now, what is Didcot? Right, again, I sort of worked this one out, but I wasn't expecting it to land in a drawing and then end up having to explain it. But I thought it was a personal one. But however, right, Didcot. Right, now this ties with the constellation, incredibly, and this one is a mouthful. Camelopardalis. Right, the constellation is a giraffe. Right, now this is where it gets absolutely insanely clever. How on earth can you connect Didcot, Camelopardalis and a giraffe? Right, well there's a third place, and it's where I grew up. As you can see, this is Didcot. So when I was born in Newport the Royal Gwent. I was inserted into the matrix into my mother. We lived in Gwent House on Solomon's Temple, right 30 foot. This is why I know it's the womb of the matrix, basically. Right, Didcot. Well, the place that I was in, lived in the cot for 7 years. So I went from the crib at Solomon's Temple. Then we moved to a place called, just down the road from where I live now, called Caldicot. So what is this? This is C lad I cot. Okay. What has this got to do with this? Because this says, and I think as well, this may tie up with the Pleiades, with Plei 1 as well in the map or something, whatever it says. But this actually unscrambles too. Marco, Plei lad. Okay. C lad I cot. Didcot. C lad I cot. Marco Plei lad. Well, I am the lad that Yah cotted in Caldicot, and we lived there for 7 years. What is the giraffe? How the heck you this is what I mean. This, and I know how I work. I don't even know how I work this out, but I just know in an instant what the answer is. Right, a giraffe is a long fellow. Actually, let's do it correctly. Sorry, you can say that he's a long fellow, because that is the code. Because the place I lived in Caldicot was Longfellow Road, and we lived there, number 57, 12 Long Road Fellow. I think you was telling me as well, but or follow Long Road, whatever. But there we go. So Didcot. This is the code for Didcot. Didcot, and I think this star constellation, well no, I know it does. It doesn't go over Didcot, it goes over Caldicot, but it's obviously put in the pyramid just as an identification point to make me do it as well, I think. Didcot, C lad I cot, Plei lad, well I'm the lad in the cot, in Caldicot, which was on Longfellow Road, the Longfellow being the giraffe. Genius by the creator, I think. Just again, all this adds credence. You know, if I take my name and everything out of these codes, then they fall apart. There's no point in doing them. And it's not that I'm trying to be, you know, I'm not showing off. I don't have an ego, and I can't make this clear enough. And how I got into this position, I really don't know, because I'm as confused as, even though it makes sense, I just don't get it. You know, I'm still trying to come to terms with all this and still try to accept it, really. Right, Colbren. So now what we're going on, Guy's Head and Crane's End is pretty obvious, but what you've got is Colbren that goes down into Guyana. Right, Colbren alphabet is a code. It's the oldest alphabet. There's also a Bible, the Colbren Bible, but Colbren alphabet is a code. Right. Bear with me, let me get the right range. When you unscramble it, it says Recon B Alpha Belt. Well, the alphabet is Orion, because Orion were the first. This must be, well, I'm assuming this is the first pyramid. That's what I mean. The first pyramids built. The Welsh is the oldest alphabet, and I think these are the oldest things that surviving. That I'm guessing that. Well, I'm confident 100% that this is the Welsh built them, and this is why you can read them. Ross Broadstock, he's taken on from Wilson and Blackett, and he's actually made there's a book called Cymriglyphics. I mean, you've got to be able to speak Welsh to be able to do it, but the fact you can read Welsh, you can read hieroglyphs using the Welsh language, so I think that clearly backs this up, and that backs, a lot of that, and we back each other up on it. But this is the secret in Orion. I think the pyramids were built. Obviously, you've got all these messages just proving that there is a creator. He's very real. And you need to get right with him, because everything that's coming is warnings of this and that, and I don't know when it's going to happen. But obviously, I know the safe zone. If you don't know it, just go back through the codes and see. This really is no coincidence. Okay. On the angel subject, just the last couple of things. Would you believe, again, now anybody can tell me that everything I'm showing you is coincidence, then well, clearly I'm not crazy, because I've got things to back this up. So it's not that I'm making this up from fresh air, and I can assure you I'm logical, and I'm going by logic, and even I can't work it, well, I can't get my head around it, because it's crazy, because it all makes sense. Right, okay. The word Wales tells a story. It's also Gymru. I believe it tells the story of Mr. Guy. Again, and this is going into the old angel thing again. Right, I've realised that Wales is the anagram of the following three. And this is what's happened. I was L. Obviously, he sent me down, or I agreed to come down, unravel these IDs as all the code states. Okay, I got to a point where I was AWSL, but I cut off AWS. Now, what is AWS? This is the name of the business, Anglo-Welsh Security, that I chucked in, got my, went to Man Moyle, got my caravan, and ended up living in Kuwait. Again, with the four-faced angel, so I became, so when I got to this midpoint in life, or roughly, I ditched this, became, I didn't realise at that point that that's what I was, but, or it seems like, I can't see any way it wasn't. This is Anglo-Welsh Security, but clearly known as AWS, Anglo-Welsh Security. Right, AWSL. Well, and then later on, what happens? Now I'm getting all these codes. I saw L. And this is the story of Gymru, who is Mr. Guy. This has all been put there as part of a matrix. I didn't put it there. You tell me how this is possible, that this all fits in, because it's beyond me. Yeah, well, anyway, there we go. Right, so even that tells a story. That's why Wales, I think, is called Wales. And, well, plus there's now Wales, and I'm sure there's more codes to come, because this stuff just keeps coming. Most of this is in this week, in the last 3-4 days, and it didn't take me long to work it out either. It just comes to me. I don't even know. Right, okay. The 12th lost tribe of what they call Judah, which is actually Judah. Even the Jews go by everything Y. This is Joseph. It's not Joseph, it's Joseph. The J is the biggest deception. This is all to do with the Romans, and they've added this into the alphabet. There's no J in Welsh either. So this being all Welsh would clearly not be called Judah and Joseph. It'd be Judah and Joseph. Okay. Right. So, who is the 12th tribe of Judah? This is the big question. Well, the 12th, well, this is the answers above you. It is, right, the first thing you've got to know, this is the tribe of, this comes from breaking down the octagram code, and you come down and you get I'm G, Marco G, Taurus L. Well, Taurus is the bull, the Joseph is bull, written in Booth Wells, Welsh bull. And what you do is you drop the L down into this, and it becomes, this becomes, we do an F as well. There's no PH in Welsh, as far as I'm aware. But either way, it becomes yourself, or yourself. Either way, whichever, that's what it is. So Joseph is the tribe of yourself, which is the decoded, unbelievably called Marco Manoi that I found in Germany, but the clues are all over Wales. You can find his coffin, and I've got a pickaxe as well that's drawn, digging up the Silurian bedrock layer of North Wales and finding the coffin of Joseph as well, which I haven't even got round to that one yet. But this is why you add H, because this is a code as well as a place. So it's why you add a H to yourself. Okay, so what is this? It's, all we do is we say I. Now why you add a H, man, Marco. And that's a fair statement. I, man, Marco. And that's why you add a H to yourself. And that is the lost tribe. This is the 12th tribe, which was the 13th lost tribe. That is actually which is actually one of the same. It's the 12th tribe. There are only 12 tribes. The 13th is the same as the 12th. It's just hidden in code. There we go, folks. I think that's enough for today. And I hope I'm convincing you that, well, this is the only, I think, well, as far as I'm aware, this could be the only actual proof. And it is miraculous, and it isn't coincidence. There is no way on the scale of everything that all this fits together. And I just, what more can I say? But I would, as I say, stand and let Y, put your sins on your palms, head down when you ask for forgiveness, give glory to Yah, thank him, ask, and just ask him to save you. Basically, that's what you need to do. Things are taking a turn for the worse on the world front, and all I see is the code coming along, and the and world events, and they're looking as if they're going to pinpoint at at some point in, well, I don't know when, but it certainly looks like it's going that way. So get right with Yahweh, and we'll see you on the next video. Yah's blessings.